Hey, what is up, everybody? I am here with my special guest,
John.
and Joe. I actually just met this guy like yesterday. I really know nothing about this guy, but I'm letting him join my podcast because he pretty much asked to join my podcast. Um, so, is there anything you want to tell me about, man, before we actually kind of, you know, get talk about what we want to talk about?
Well, John isn't my real name. That's just my email, I guess. My real name is Joe.
Joe, okay. Um, Anything else?
I understand that you had a thing called Massasoit Community Corner, and my
Yeah,
brother actually did that.
your brother, Elliot.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, that's nice. So is that how you found out my YouTube channel, and then you just started watching me since then, or have you known about me before?
I knew about you through the wrestling corners.
Oh, that's nice. Well, you can tell
Yeah.
Ellie I said hi, by the way, if you see him.
Alright.
All right, but that's actually pretty cool. I haven't heard of Ellie from Ellie in a while. How's he doing?
He's doing pretty good.
Um, all right, but that's actually pretty cool. So maybe he'll pop up over in this video.
Maybe. I gotta get him here. I'm not sure if he's home at the time.
Okay. Um, so do you want me to call you John or Joe, or does it not matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. So, yeah, me and Joe just met like, a few minutes ago. He commented on one of my videos asking if he wanted to do this. And pretty much we're doing this right now. I'm actually going to see, too, if I can talk to James to see if we can bring you into Massasoit Wrestling Corner. Would you be interested in that?
Nah, I'd be interested.
Okay, so I'll probably talk to James about that after we get off this then. So we're gonna talk about Monday Night Raw from this week. But before we start, I already gave enough thoughts about the whole Hulk Hogan situation. What are your whole thoughts about the whole Hulk Hogan situation?
Well, here's my thing about the Hulk Hogan situation. I mean, he was in the wrong for using the N-word, obviously. You shouldn't be using those offensive words, especially when you have that, you're a public figure and you're a legend. You shouldn't really be discriminatory. And one of his main rivals was Kamala in the 80s. But at the same time, Vince McMahon is a skinflint douchebag, so he's kind of being a hypocrite in the situation.
Yes, I know, right? Like we talked about this before. I brought up all those characters yesterday. Like literally, he had Virgil be a slave to Ted DiBiase, and that was pretty much I think as racist as you can get, pretty much.
Yeah. And with Kamala too, I mean, they had him as some savage from Uganda, or what do they call it, the rainforests of Uganda, and they didn't even pay him as much as they paid Hulk Hogan and Undertaker, and he fought those big guys. So I really don't think Vince McMahon is in a position to talk about Hulk Hogan being racist when he himself is a racist.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's never even had a like black WWE champion at all in his company.
Never.
Yep. So that's that's as I think as worst as it can get. Like the Rock doesn't count because he's Samoan. He says that he's Samoan. He doesn't actually say that he's black. He says he's Samoan.
Yeah, actually, he's like half black, half Samoan, I think.
Yeah, I know. But he says he's Samoan though. He doesn't really say that he's black that much though.
Ah, I got you.
But anything else you want to say before we start talking about Raw for this week, or are you good?
I just want to say that Raw, it had its ups and downs this week. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. Raw happened on July 27th, 2015. I'm 3 days late no, actually 2 days late reviewing it, but I was too tired to do it because I was working and stuff. But whatever. We had JBL, Michael Cole, and Byron Saxton on commentary. And the Authority comes out. Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Seth Rollins. And they pretty much announced that they're gonna have a first ever. This was marked as the first ever episode of Raw because there was a lot of matches that happened for the first time. Um, we had they announced that it's gonna be Paige versus Sasha Banks, Dean Ambrose versus Big Show. I think they announced that tag team match with Alicia Fox and Nikki Bella versus Becky Lynch and Charlotte. They announced Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton, and they also announced that if SummerSlam wasn't long enough for you, there's going to be a SummerSlam this year is going to be 4 hours, like not including the pre-show.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that's actually going to be pretty cool. As long as they keep me entertained throughout the whole 4 hours, then I'll be psyched. And then John Cena comes out and pretty much calls Seth Rollins a joke as a champion again. And Seth Rollins calls Cena's U.S. Championship a joke. And John Cena challenges him to a WWE World Heavyweight Championship match tonight. But then Stephanie McMahon says, "Let me ask the audience," and they all obviously chant yes for that match. And Stephanie McMahon says no because John Cena hasn't earned an opportunity at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So instead, they give him that match, but it's for Cena's U.S. title. That was the whole promo segment right there. What did you think of the promo segment?
I didn't mind it. The only thing I had as a problem with that promo segment is when they said Cena didn't deserve the title shot. Like, I mean, he has been in the company since '02. He's been fighting his ass off forever, and I know he's kind of overhyped, especially nowadays, but still, I think he's proven more than enough to try and go for a title shot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's been people that Rollins has faced for the title that hasn't even deserved it themselves. Like, no offense, I'm a Dean Ambrose fan, but what did Dean Ambrose really do to earn a championship match, really?
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, overall, I thought the segment was pretty good, and I mean, everyone's pissed that they're doing Cena versus Rollins for the title. I'm not pissed because it's not like they really have any other options to really go with, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough. And the match is going to deliver because they're going to probably do the match at SummerSlam, which we're going to talk about later on in the main event. But yeah, that's my thoughts there. So then we get the first match on the show. We had Dean Ambrose versus Big Show, and The Miz was on commentary for this match because Big Show and Miz are kind of feuded with the whole Ryback situation as Intercontinental Champion, but they can't really do anything with the feud because Ryback is injured. So this is pretty much it for right now. This actually, I didn't think this match was going to be that good just because it has like the Big Show in it, but this match ended up being really good. I really enjoyed this match. Dean Ambrose hit a suicide dive in this match, and then he tried to do his elbow, but Big Show caught him with the slap that he does to the chest, I guess the chop, off the top, and Big Show dominated the match. And I remember Big Show had like Dean Ambrose in a headlock, and Ambrose was like untying Big Show's shoe to try to get out of it. I really like that spot because it was somewhat creative. And then Ambrose got Big Show on a sleeper hold. Big Show fought out of it, and then Big Show tried to chokeslam Ambrose, and then he hit the DDT to counter it. And then Big Show ended up actually Big Show 2 minutes into the match tore off Ambrose's T-shirt. I thought that was nice. And then Big Show hit 2 choke slams. Ambrose kicked out of the first one. The second one, Ambrose rolled outside the ring, and then Ambrose got back in. And then Big Show threw him out, speared Ambrose on the outside, and Ambrose still got it back in to beat the 10 count. Then Big Show threw him outside the ring again. Ambrose tossed him out, and then he tried to go for a suicide dive. Big Show caught him with the right hand, and this time Ambrose couldn't beat the 10 count. Ambrose lost by count out. I don't really get that, though, because why can't they have Ambrose win one match? They book Ambrose as a loser. I mean, what did Big Show really have to gain from winning this match? He had nothing to gain. I understand it could make him look strong to face Ryback for the IC title, but Big Show has been in this company for, like, pretty much since the 90s. I mean, he was in WCW before that, but I'm saying, like, Big Show had nothing to gain to win from winning this match, and especially too if because Ambrose ended up standing tall. Big Show tried to spear him through the timekeeper's area, but Ambrose moved out of the way, and Big Show went through it. So if Ambrose was just going to stand tall, why not have him win the match? What did you think?
Oh, I think it was just one of those filler matches that the WWE does sometimes, you know. One of those matches that really doesn't make sense on paper, and then when you see it, it's kind of cool, but it still doesn't really make much sense. I
I
mean,
can agree with that too.
The Miz on commentary, though, he was kind of complaining a lot about how
Yeah.
Ryback wouldn't give him a shot, as if Ryback isn't injured right now. Like, come on now.
Yeah, that's probably true. Maybe Ryback isn't injured. Um, but then
However, I must say this. Ambrose got his revenge at the end when Big Show tried to get cocky and try to spear him through the barricade, but then Ambrose sidestepped that.
yeah. But like I said, Ambrose is just booked as a loser though because he can't even win this. Like, what do you think? Do you think Ambrose should have won over? Because
Yeah, I think so. I think I don't know if he's proven enough to be like a WWE World Heavyweight Championship, but I think he's proven enough that he should win in a filler match.
yeah, especially against the Big Show. Big Show had nothing to gain from winning this match.
Big Show, I don't even know. Like, how are they gonna write his character at this point?
Yeah,
He's penultimate to the story.
he turns from heel to face every 2 seconds.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I bet they want to turn him face too, but they know we're keeping track. So, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. So then next, Fandango face Neville. Do you want to cover this match?
No. Well, there's a couple matches I didn't see, but I did see this one, and Neville beat Fandango. And then Stardust appeared on the screen, and he was being all creepy and whatnot, and saying, he was going on to this little soliloquy or whatever, and then he's pretty much saying he's coming out to get him.
Yeah, because he hates the fact that the fans always look up to the heroes. They never know what the unknown is, and Stardust is like the unknown, and he wants to save the fans from that.
Cody Rhodes, man, he's a joke.
Yeah, they pretty much have made Cody Rhodes a joke at this point. They should have just brought him back as Cody Rhodes. This would have been a perfect time to do that because his dad had passed away and all that.
Yeah, exactly. That would be a perfect time.
But I don't mind this feud itself, though. It's like a comic book feud, the hero versus the villain, and yeah, I like how Neville just his expression on his face. He just thought Stardust was like a weirdo after this whole thing was over.
Yeah, I like that too.
I don't know if you got this vibe though. When Stardust was cutting this promo, I got more of a Bray Wyatt vibe. Did you?
A Bray Wyatt promo. I saw that later in the show.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, didn't Stardust seem like he was acting like Bray Wyatt heel? Maybe it's just because of the way
In a way, in a weird sort of way, yeah. I can see why you'd say that.
Yeah, that's the vibe I was getting. But overall, I like this feud, and I think it's just a decent feud because it's like a comic book feud.
Yeah, comic book feuds are the best, man.
Yeah.
Superman versus Lex Luthor, Batman and the Joker.
Yeah, and Neville right now is being like the man that gravity forgot versus I don't know what Stardust is supposed to be. They didn't really. He's the villain.
I don't know. The guy who's trying to make a name for himself.
I guess. But yeah, I like this feud so far. What were you gonna say before I cut you off, though?
Oh, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh, okay. So then next, Paige is backstage. He's talking with Charlotte and Becky Lynch, and they're talking about how they're receiving very good reaction from Facebook and Twitter people on social media, and they say that they're gonna take this revolution by storm. And then Sasha Banks comes up and says that you guys didn't start the revolution, Stephanie McMahon did, and she talks about how she's the dominant diva in WWE and on NXT, and then Paige talks about how you may be NXT champion. I was the first ever NXT champion and a 2-time Divas champion. And then Sasha Banks comes back with a really good comeback by saying that you may have held those accolades, but you're just known for losing titles. I'm known for winning matches. And then what happens? I can't remember because I saw this 2 days ago. Pretty much they leave. And Charlotte says if they interfere, this is gonna get ugly. And then Paige says it already has gotten ugly. What do you think of this backstage segment?
I liked it, kind of like the new and up and coming person talking trash with the other just kind of came up and making a name for myself.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, they're gonna duke it out for some sort of position in the division.
I like this whole Divas Revolution. Right now, I hope they kind of keep... I feel like they're just going to get bored with this and just drop it eventually. I hope that doesn't happen, but I feel like that's what's going to happen. They're going to eventually bury them. But I hope that doesn't happen.
I hope not either.
Could you see that happening?
Of them burying... Well, WWE does a lot of weird things, so anything's in question when it comes to Divas.
I mean,
like,
they say...
10 years ago, they did, like, matches in chocolate and hitting each other with pillows, so who knows what they're gonna do with the Divas now.
Yeah. I mean, they say anything can happen in the WWE, so... You know. So then we get the first Divas match on the show. It was Paige with Charlotte and Becky Lynch in her corner versus Sasha Banks with Naomi and Tamina Snuka in her corner. And they played that same video package for Sasha Banks that they played on SmackDown. I really like that video package. It's really awesome. What do you think?
I like it too.
The only reason I brought it up is to give you an opinion on it. And then this match, though, I really liked this match. It got a good amount of time. It was really awesome. Paige dominates the first half of the match, and then she ends up hitting a dive onto Team Bad. Then during the break, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Tamina Snuka all got ejected from ringside, so it was just a one-on-one match. And Sasha Banks dominates Paige. She hits that double knees into the corner, which I like that spot. And she just dominates the match, and then Paige makes a comeback. I like it when she hits those knees in the corner. I haven't talked about that spot yet, but she's been doing that for a while, but this is the first time I brought it up, so I like that spot. And then eventually Sasha Banks makes Paige tap out to the bank statement, and Sasha wins, which I thought made perfect sense because this is the new up-and-comer, and this makes Sasha look really good. What did you think of this match?
I liked it as well. I mean, for once they make a Divas match longer than, 5 minutes? So, yeah. I mean, she's an exciting young prospect. I hope they write her character the right way, though.
Yeah, just keep booking her the way she is now. I think that would work.
Yeah.
So I like this match. It was really good. So then next, Seth Rollins got interviewed, and was pretty much lists his accomplishments the way he sees them. And then that was really it.
Him being an egotistical douche as usual.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he was being. What'd you think? Was that all you really have to say? Because there's really nothing to say here.
Yeah, it was kind of just like one of those on the sideline interviews. Didn't really contribute much to the plot of the show.
Yeah. And then we get to a rant segment. You probably didn't watch this segment. It was Rusev and Summer Rae's promo.
Oh, no, I saw that.
All right, I've talked about this enough. Why don't you cover this? Because I really don't want to cover it.
So, Rusev comes out with the gift for his girlfriend, Summer Rae, and the gift is a dog, and then he's like sneak dissing Dolph Ziggler while he's like calling him a dog. He's calling the dog Dolph Ziggler. It was just this giant diss. And then he gets a headless fish and calls that Dolph Ziggler. Then, whatever her name is, comes out. I think.
No, actually, he called the fish Summer Rae, actually.
Yeah, that's it.
No, wait, not Summer Rae, Lana.
Lana, yeah. Then Lana comes out and she kind of disses Summer Rae back. Then she drives Summer Rae headfirst and makes her eat the fish. I mean,
I had to put my AC on. It's hot. Yeah.
It's all good. But yeah, she being Lana made Summer Rae eat the fish, and then they left the ring, and freaking Summer Rae's in the corner, like, oh god, I just ate a headless fish, and Rusev was just standing there like, oh no, sorry, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't like this whole feud, because in reality, Vince McMahon's actually trying to break up Rusev and Lana in real life, because they're actually dated in real life. And
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
I think it's just proven in this segment. I think this is like he's really trying too by having Rusev call Lana a fish, a headless fish, raw fish too. So it's just like why does he want to break up this relationship?
Well, like I said, Vince McMahon is a skinflint douchebag, if I'm allowed to say that on the podcast. But he's a vulture capitalist. He wants the downfall for all the great wrestlers. And plus, another thing with Rusev, who I think is a good wrestler. When's the last time he wrestled? Honestly, like,
He wrestled Kevin Owens on SmackDown,
but on Raw, it just seems like he's bringing them out. Bringing out Rusev. He's doing his little speech. And it's really pointless. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I mean, this isn't gonna go anywhere. The only way they can really go is to have Lana wrestle Summer Rae, but then the feud's still gonna continue because Dolph Ziggler's probably gonna come back at some point. Yeah, but right now he's injured. Well, storyline injured. I don't know what's going on with him in life. So there's that. I mean, you could just tell too that Lana and Rusev just don't like this angle. I don't know if you can tell but Rusev, you can just tell on the tone of their voices.
Yeah, kind of like when she was in the corner of the ring crying. Summer Rae Rusev was kind of like, oh, I'm sorry that happened. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I suggested last week for the Wall review to James that they just sue the WWE, but that's not going to work because the WWE has the lawyers and other things like that to oversue them. They can't walk out. They can't walk out because that's breach of contract. So they're really screwed at this point. Rusev and Lana just have to eat shit like the taste of it.
Yeah. They got to get it together though. This storyline I don't see the point. I'd rather Rusev, the babbling Russian, who's just bragging about how great his country is and then destroying everyone at the WWE, than for him to be a little girl and come out in the ring and complain and call Dolph Ziggler a fish. I mean, come on now.
I know, he's being buried.
He really is.
So, yeah, that just sucks. So then next was a tag team match. It was the Lucha Dragons versus Los Matadores without Torito inside, and the primetime players were doing commentary for this match, which I like that. I like it when they're on commentary. They're really enjoyable on commentary. And this tag team match actually ended up being a pretty good tag team match. The only complaint I have is I thought they said the winners become #1 contenders to tag team titles, but then they were like, I screwed up. They could be in line. So I was confused. But this was a really good tag team match. Really high flying stuff. I mean, when the Los Matadores were dominating the match, they hit some nice spots in the match. Like one of them, I don't know which one is which because of the bandanas and stuff. But one of them hit like a splash in the ropes and tagged in the other partner at the same time. I like it when they do spots like that. And it was just a really nice, fast-paced tag team match. I really don't know what else to say about it.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I like that springboard DDT that Kalisto hit in this match, too. That was really awesome. And commentary. I liked something on commentary was really nice. I don't know if you heard it. But Titus O'Neil was talking about how Daniel Young's been working on a new line. And Daniel Young said, they're just trying to wow the crowd. And then he asked JBL what his line is. And JBL was like, just leave it over to Michael. And then Michael Cole says that, his line is vintage. And Byron Saxton doesn't have a line. So then they just pretty much say, JBL, Byron, you two be quiet. Me and Michael Cole will just call this match. And Daniel Young kept saying they're going to wow the crowd throughout this match. I really like that spot. What were you going to say, though?
What I was going to say is I did not have the ability to watch this match. I also missed the match with Becky Lynch and Charlotte beating Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox. I also missed that one.
Oh, okay. Why come you couldn't watch it?
Well, I just went upstairs to do something else.
Oh, yeah. I can understand that. But yeah, this tag team match was a really nice, fast-paced tag team match. And then until this part happens, the New Day comes out, and the way they came out wasn't racist, but it was so stereotypical. I don't know if that's a word, but it was so stereotypical that it makes me wonder why they fired Hulk Hogan. Um, just they come out, and Big E and Xavier Woods are holding a sign under Kofi that says that he should be the #1 dad of the year because Titus O'Neil was voted that. The five-time players get off commentary, and this distracts Los Matadores, and Sin Cara rolls up one of them for the win. That was it. I know you didn't see the match, but what did you think about it after hearing me talk about it?
Well, high-paced tag team matches are really the type that I like. I think Los Matadores, they're really what's the word? They don't get enough credit for what they do in the ring, though. Whatever the word for that is.
Yeah, I know. I do like their tag team work in the win. Just the gimmick just sucks. I think they should be Primo and Epico again.
Yeah. I like it better as Primo and Epico, to be honest. What is this, Los Matadores?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they're just trying to bring Hispanic culture into the WWE, because, let's face it, the WWE doesn't have much culture.
Yeah. What about the whole New Day thing? I mean, maybe it's just me.
The New Day, man, Biggie Langston is great solo. Xavier Woods, I thought he was a great prospect, and he could have became something solo. Kofi, he's already proven himself solo, but when you put them together, they're really bad. You're right, it is stereotypical, and like I was watching it a couple weeks ago, and in the backstage, they were just like yelling and shouting and screaming, just acting like a bunch of stereotypes. Why? It was so insignificant to the plot. That was back when they were tag team champions. But it's insignificant.
Oh, yeah.
And hypocritical as well.
Yeah, pretty much. And you could have, if they were going to make him a stable, they should have just been like the Nation of Domination was back in the Attitude Era. Just like that. But they just made him this.
Yeah. Swing and a miss with this one, though.
Yeah. So then, next was Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper's whole promo where Luke Harper welcomed himself back in the Wyatt family. You want to talk about this segment?
Yeah. I saw this segment as well. Let's see. Well, I couldn't really explain it well, but pretty much Bray Wyatt comes out to the ring, and he comes out with Luke Harper, and Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt talk about how they've been to hell and back, and how Luke says that Bray's really helped him out and went to hell and back for him, and this and that.
Yeah. Bray even said that he tried to set him free, but then Harper realized how tough it is to be by himself because Creative didn't know what to do with Luke Harper actually in real life. So he just came back to Bray Wyatt when he needed him or something. He said something like that.
Yeah.
And I really like this whole promo here. And then at the end, he tells Roman Reigns not to bring Dean Ambrose into his fight. Me and Harper are your fight. Don't bring Ambrose into this because it's not going to turn out good for Ambrose. Which I like that part of the promo too.
Yeah.
I was expecting Roman Reigns to come out, but I guess that didn't happen. I was fine that he didn't come out, but he wasn't even seen at all in this show, so I was actually shocked. Maybe he took a week off.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns always contributes positively when he's on Raw, so.
Yeah, especially nowadays, lately, with the stuff he does. I mean, he's definitely gotten his fan base back. I mean, I never really got the hate. I never really got the hate for Roman Reigns anyways. But, you know, he's gotten his fan base back. I'm really happy for Roman Reigns because I actually am a Roman Reigns fan. When I was actually the one that was liking Roman Reigns when everybody else was hating on him. I was probably one of his only fans that were like 19 years old. I just liked Roman Reigns. I didn't like the way he won the Royal Rumble. You know, that was pretty bullshit. But I wasn't mad that he won the Rumble. I just didn't like the way he was booked to win the Rumble. But
Yeah. I don't understand why Reigns was the most hated one. Like Rollins, he's just a cocky SOB, man. I don't see why everyone loved him so much. I mean, he really, that at least a year ago, really didn't work for anything. And he broke up the Shield. He broke up what could have been one of the most dominant three-man tag teams in recent history. Not only that, but Dean Ambrose, I can understand why people like him, but he's a psychopath. And I could also understand why people wouldn't like him. Now Reigns is getting all this hate for what? There's no
exactly,
reason.
yeah. I mean, everyone's hating on him because he's going to be like the next face of the company. But the thing I don't get about it is when Batista was about to win the Rumble a year ago, they were rooting for Reigns to win then. But then Roman Reigns, he's about to win. He wins it. Everybody hates it. Which, you know, you had a right to hate it because of the way he won. But they weren't just hating it just because of the way he won. There was some fans that just didn't want him to win. And then they complained. They always want a new star. They always want a new star. And Roman Reigns was that new star. But everybody complained about it. So, no, this is. It's not just the WWE that fails sometimes. It's sometimes us as wrestling fans, because some wrestling fans just don't know what the hell they want.
Yeah. I could definitely attest to that. A year ago, I wanted Owen to be the face of the company again, like he was back in the 2000s. Now I'm like, nah. I want some of the younger guys. So it's really,
Yeah,
you
it's tough
really
to.
don't know.
Yeah.
Tough decisions to make for the writers.
Oh yeah. All right. So then next is the match that you didn't see. It was Charlotte and Becky Lynch with Paige ringside versus Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox with Brie Bella ringside. And this tag team match was good. The crowd didn't really, was kind of quiet during this match. I don't know why, but they were. And the Bellas get the heat on Charlotte for a while. And I like the way that Charlotte's pretty actually flexible. Like when you put her in like a big headlock or something, or like a move where you talk her back, she really gets really flexible. I really like that. And then Becky Lynch gets the hot tag on Alicia Fox and taps out Alicia Fox to the armbar, which they called something else, but I don't remember the name of it. And that was really cool. It was really cool to see Becky Lynch get her first win on RAW, and I really was happy with this. What do you think? I mean, you didn't see it, but what do you think hearing about it?
Well, if I like Sasha Banks better than Becky Lynch and Charlotte, but kudos to them for beating the Divas champion.
Oh yeah. Actually, this Friday, tomorrow, because today is Wednesday. This Thursday on SmackDown, Becky Lynch is going to face Nikki Bella on SmackDown, which could be a good match. I mean, Becky Lynch is pretty good, and Nikki Bella is okay. I think she's improved since before, but she's still pretty sloppy sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think of the whole
Say that
team?
again? Oh, the Divas division. Okay, now I can hear you. With the Divas division, like I said, Sasha Banks would be kind of the exciting young prospect. And then you got Paige, she's not really a prospect anymore, but she's still relatively new. So if they play their cards right, it could be something.
Yeah, as long as they don't lose interest, and you know, but we're gonna have to wait and see with that. All right. So the next was Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton, and Sheamus was on commentary for this match because he's feuding with Randy Orton, and I guess they can't come up with anything else for them to do, so they're just going to continue to have that feud. But I feel like that feud should be over because I thought the blow-off match would be at Battleground, but guess not. And this was actually a really good match itself. Randy Orton threw Owens into the barricade and clotheslined him outside the ring. And then Kevin Owens dominated the match for a while. And he hit that awesome senton that he hits on the floor. I like when he hits that senton. And then Randy Orton makes his comeback. He hits the scoop slam. He hits the DDT. And then he goes for the RKO. Owens gets out of the ring. And then Orton goes outside to attack him. And Sheamus gets off commentary. He blow kicks Orton. And then Sheamus and Owens are just going to put a hurting on Orton. And then Cesaro comes out because He's feuding with Kevin Owens right now, and he starts taking out both Owens and Sheamus, and then eventually, Cesaro and Sheamus were fighting outside the ring. Cesaro gets back in the ring, and Sheamus um, holds Cesaro's leg to distract him, and Kevin Owens lays him out with a pump-up powerbomb. And that was it. I thought this actually was a pretty good segment here, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing Cesaro and Kevin Owens feud, because the match is going to deliver, and they actually have a reason to feud, because Owens cost Cesaro the U.S. title. So I do think this could be a good feud. I wish it was for the U.S. title. I wish this was the U.S. title match at SummerSlam, but you know. And Orton and Sheamus feuding again, like I just talked about. I feel like that feud should be over now, but creatives probably can't come up with anything else for them to do. So I guess why not have them continue to feud? This time, though, at SummerSlam, since Sheamus, if you want to make Sheamus look like a threat to be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, he is the Money in the Bank winner. You have to have Sheamus beat Orton this time. Orton needed the win at Battleground, but this time Sheamus has to win. What do you think?
Well, I can agree with you saying that this time Sheamus needs to win, but I really didn't like this segment as a whole, and I'll tell you why. I didn't mind the match. It was a really good match, actually, but here's the thing. It was a really, really good build-up. At the beginning of the show, Triple H is like, this is the first time this is ever happening. It's Orton versus Kevin Owens. And then, you know, Kevin Owens being the man that he is, he's already, I think he's proven himself. Especially with the win versus John Cena a couple pay-per-views ago. I think it was Money in the Bank, but I'm not quite sure which one it was.
Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber, that's it. But I think if you beat a guy like John Cena, then, I mean, you're pretty good to me at least. But who knows? And then Randy Orton, obviously, we know what he's done. And they keep building it up, and before they go to commercial, they make sure to tell you, tonight you need to make sure to be here when Orton and Owens face off against each other. So naturally, when you get to the match, you think it's going to be nice and long, but then Sheamus interrupts. And that's kind of where that's where I stopped liking it. You can't build up something like this and then just stop it halfway. You can't stop something like this at its climax. It kind of defeats the whole purpose of it.
Yeah, I can understand what you're saying. And I actually was going to say this, but you actually just reminded me by talking about this. I would think they would want to save a match like this for like a SummerSlam or a big pay-per-view or something.
Yeah. Even JBL said this would be a main event match any night of the week. And they just interrupt it for something petty like Sheamus and Orton. I'm sorry, but that rivalry, it's not unimportant, but it's not very important. I don't think it didn't have the caliber to interrupt a match like Owens and Orton.
Yeah, I can agree with that, yeah. And what about the whole Cesaro-Owens feud? What do you think about that?
Cesaro, I like that because I think like a year ago, Cesaro, he was Antonio Cesaro at the time. He was showing off his big muscles, and yeah, I'm big and strong. But as time went by, he kind of fell off. So maybe that he's got this little rivalry going with Kevin Owens, he can maybe pick something back up. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully they actually push him right this time, because they failed twice with Cesaro. After he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, he fell, and after he had that U.S. title run in 2012 and going into 2013, they failed. So hopefully they get it right this time with Cesaro. We're gonna have to wait and see. You know, because Vince McMahon doesn't think Cesaro connects with the audience, which I don't get, but you know.
I don't know why he'd think that, man. Cesaro, he's something special.
Yeah. Actually, even in an interview that Cesaro did with Michael Cole, I believe it was last week, Cesaro even said that he kicked down Vince's door, looked him right in the face, and he said, "Vince, challenge accepted." But that might have been a word, so, you know.
Yeah.
So at least they brought it up, though. But I'm happy about that. Yeah. But then John Cena gets interviewed, and he talks about how the U.S. title is really important to him, and he's happy to defend it in the main event of RAW against Seth Rollins. And I don't remember anything else he said. Do you remember anything else? Because that's all I remember.
Yep. And then it goes to commercial, and then the big match comes up.
We have John Cena defending the U.S. title against Seth Rollins. And this match, I really enjoyed this match. Seth Rollins dominated like the whole match, and then Cena made his comeback. He hit his all his moves, the shoulder tackles, the little thing that he likes to hit after that. I forget. They never say the name of that move, so I don't know what it's called. And then he goes for the five knuckle shuffle. Rollins kicks him in the face, super kicks Cena, and Cena kicked out of it. And then Cena gets Rollins up into an electric chair and face plants him on the floor. I like when he does that. And Rollins kicked out of that. Then he hit the five knuckle shuffle. Cena went for the AA. Rollins countered that. And then Cena hit a tornado DDT coming out of the corner. Rollins kicked out of that. And then it gets really good by this part of the match. Rollins and Cena are trading blows. And as you can tell from the title of this video, it says Cena nose gets busted. No, like, gets broken. I forget what I put in the title. And Rollins knees Cena right in the face and breaks Cena's nose. And that wasn't, well, one, it wasn't like gruesome, because I've seen bloodier stuff in wrestling, but it was still, but for this, it was pretty gruesome. It was pretty crazy. They had to keep coming in and having Cena cover up with towels and stuff like that. And then eventually, I think they even asked at points, like, if Cena wanted to continue, and Cena said no. And then, no, Cena said yes, I'm sorry. And then Cena went for the AA he actually hit the AA on Rollins, and Rollins kicked out of it. And then he went for the AA off the top. No, he went to hit the leg drop off the top, and this was an awesome part of the match. When Rollins hit the superplex off the top, and then he hit the sit-down suplex on Cena right after that. It was like really quick when it happened. That was an awesome spot in the match. And then afterwards, Cena gets the STF in on Rollins, and Rollins taps out, and Cena retains the championship. And afterwards, Cena's nose is still busted. It's actually really big, and it's, broken. And JBL pretty much says it all in commentary. For once, JBL had a good line. John Cena was one tough son of a bitch. And I can agree with that, because John Cena could have just ended the match right there, but he chose to continue. And, that just shows that John Cena is a workhorse, and you can hate him all he wants. The hate's understandable, but I'm not going to hate on John Cena here, because he still continued with the match, and he just proved he's one tough son of a bitch. And he actually is, like I said, is a workhorse. He always puts his life on the line for wrestling. What do you think of this whole main event here?
I loved it. I feel like the main event kind of made up for the blunder with Orton and Owens. And it kind of did capitalize on one thing. The fact that with Rollins being the new face of the company, you can bring in more than just Orton or more than just the young guys to make a rivalry. You can bring in, like, a young guy who's the new face of the company versus one of the old faces of the company who's still kind of the face of the company, and make a great rivalry out of that. Not only that, but it did prove Cena's dedication to the company. And when he broke his nose, at first, I kind of knew that was real. Like, I don't think you can't really fake break someone's nose. I don't think that exists. Yeah. But he still continued the match, and he won it, especially with Rollins when he did the suplex from the top rope, then hit him with the sit-down suplex. Yeah. After that, I thought, hey, Rollins is the new U.S. champion. But then Cena kicked out. It was just such a great match.
Yeah. And they're probably going to do this match again at SummerSlam, which I'm not going to complain about, because it was a good match here. And I can't wait to see the match at SummerSlam for the title, which Rollins should win that match, you would think, because you would think.
Yeah, in theory he would win. But that was, if I can continue, Cena, you're right, you can understand the hate for him. I don't think he's run his course, but when he keeps coming out week after week with the same "you can't see me" gimmick and all that, it kind of gets annoying after a while. But this match kind of reassured that, hey, Cena is one of the best to do it. Step in the ring, he really is.
Yeah, and I mainly enjoyed his U.S. title one too. He's added new moves to his arsenal, and everybody always complained that the mid-card, the U.S. title, was always being overshadowed, wasn't being utilized. John Cena holding this championship, he defends it mostly every week, and the more he continues to say how important it is, and the fact that the WWE World Heavyweight Champion was fighting for the U.S. title, I thought that was awesome.
That was a great match. I feel like Cena knew in the back of his head, like Triple H and Stephanie just said, I don't deserve a shot at the WWE Championship. Let me go out there and prove to them that I do deserve a shot at this title. It's going to be interesting the way they play it at SummerSlam, though. If they make it for the U.S. belt or for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship belt.
Yeah, or both. They could do both. They could do a unification match.
Yeah, they've done it before with the tag team belts and with the WWE and World Heavyweight Champion way back when. They've done unification before.
So we'll have to wait and see with that. Overall, though, what did you think of Raw from what you saw of it?
Raw, like I said, it was kind of up and down this week. I mean, in the beginning, the beginning segments with Rollins and Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. I mean, you see that every week on Raw. But when they announced the two big matches that I liked, Owens and Owen, and then Cena and Rollins, then that kind of made me interested. And then Rollins kind of went at Cena. He kind of went at the legend with his egotistical self. He told Cena for once in his life he should shut the hell up. And he's saying Cena doesn't deserve this, Cena doesn't deserve that. Kind of like being his usual cocky self, but it had more merit because you're talking to a future legend, future Hall of Famer, and saying that. And then, of course, the Big Show, Dean Ambrose, the filler match, I enjoyed it. The Neville match, I enjoyed. The Sasha Banks, I enjoyed. I missed 2 matches, so pretty mad about that, because based on what you said, those seem like really good matches. I'm going to have to check it out. The Orton match, that's kind of when I really lost it. Actually, I lost it with the Bray Wyatt thing. Because all this dude does nowadays is go out and talk, and talk, and talk. I haven't seen him fight in a very, very long time. It's kind of like, you got a great character. He's kind of like the anarchist, the anti-establishment type. You could really make something out of it, but nope. You just have him come out to the ring every weekend. Yap, and do nothing. Like you.
And he loses all of his feuds.
He really does. Like, he's a tank, too. I mean, he's big, he's muscular, he can take Cena in a battle, and you make him lose all his feuds. Good job, WB.
And then he gets off, and then they take him off TV, and then we're supposed to instantly think he's a threat when he comes back. Like, how can we believe somebody's a threat if you take him off TV so much?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like the writers, they need to get it together with some of their storylines. They have very good storylines, don't get me wrong. But they also have very bad storylines. Like with Bray Wyatt. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that whole Roman Reigns thing, I'm not getting it. Because he's saying that the fans is the one that wanted Roman to the top. But if you've been watching the company, Mania time and all that, we just talked about it right here, that the fans didn't want Roman Reigns at the top. It was the WWE machine that wanted Roman Reigns at the top. So, you know, that's a flaw in the storyline right there.
Exactly.
And it's that small flaw that makes it a big flaw because. And then we had the Diva matches were really good. The tag team match was good. They're probably setting up a tag team championship match, fatal 4-way between Lucha Dragons, New Day, Prime Time Players, and Los Matadores for the tag team titles at SummerSlam, which I'm not going to complain about because that could be a really fast-paced tag team match. I can't. Stardust and Neville are having a good feud, so I would say Raw was pretty good. Last week's Raw I liked better because they had Taker on it and stuff like that, and that feud was really personal. But I like this. I like this week's Raw. Hello? I don't know what happened to him. John or Joe? Hello? I don't know what happened to him. He like froze. This happens sometimes, but I don't know what to do. I can't really do anything about it. All right, he's leaving. I'm just gonna give it a couple of seconds and if he comes back. Another thing you can check out though next week, I can't wait to check it out, is the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast with Paige. I can't wait to see that. Let me invite him to this thing again. Okay. So I invited him. If he comes back, he comes back. If he doesn't, then he doesn't. So, yeah. But yeah, I can't wait to see that. I like Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast. He asks a lot of the tough questions. Okay, here he is. All right, so I'm just gonna have to wait. John, can you hear me? What? Joe? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? John? Yeah, I don't know what. This thing just glitches out. They need to fix this thing sometimes. It just gets to that point, you know. But yeah.
Well, my internet kind of just bugged out for a sec.
Okay. All right. So I was just what was the last thing you heard me say?
You were talking about how they just kind of ruined Bray Wyatt and always taking him out the air.
Yeah, that's you know how it is. I even talked about too how they're setting up a fatal 4-way tag team match between the Primetime Players, Los Matadores, Lucha Dragons, and New Day. There we go. Oh, yeah. Probably at SummerSlam.
That should be interesting.
Nice, fast-paced tag team match. I hope it makes it to the actual show itself. They don't put it on the pre-show. I mean, it's not that I don't mind. I wouldn't mind, I guess, if they put it on the pre-show, but I feel like it always the tag team belts, they always just put it on the pre-show.
Yeah.
And I even talked about just to find stuff to talk about in case you wanted to come back with the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast they're going to have next week on the WWE Network with Paige. I like those podcasts. I can't wait to see them.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. I love listening to podcasts. So, and when it's, I wonder. Here's the thing that I wonder with the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast: if he's going to do something on Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I wanted the same thing. I don't think because Paige is going to be the guest, they probably won't bring it up. But if it was Finch or something that was the guest, if it was Triple H that was the guest, then they probably bring it up.
Yeah, I guess you're right there.
But
back to the Monday Night Raw show, I think, honestly, if I had to give it a rating, probably 7 out of 10. Probably.
Yeah, me too. Same thing. I think the WWE realized it was going to lose a lot of viewers because of the Hulk Hogan thing. So they probably tried to make up for it with this show. That's what I think kind of happened too. Is they tried to say, okay, we're going to put on the greatest Raw ever. Well, we're going to try to put on a great Raw to make people, forget about the whole Hulk Hogan situation. That's what I kind of feel like happened.
Yeah, but again with the Hulk Hogan thing, they kind of just, it's kind of a lose-lose for them. Kind of opposite of Rollins in the Cena match, where it was a win-win for him. It's kind of lose-lose for them because if the show must go on, as the saying says, and I don't think you're gonna stop Monday Night Raw, especially with the publicity that it has. But here's the thing: Raw had a lot of substantial bugs this past week, so I mean, maybe it feels like some parts of the show are just rushed. Maybe that's just me, but that's how I felt.
I can understand that too because they even every week they put out this that 20-minute opening promo that just accomplishes nothing. Sometimes they just do it too. I feel like they just get lazy. So like, oh, we'll just have a 20-minute promo open the show. I mean, that accomplishes nothing. You know, like nothing at all.
Yeah, that gets very annoying after a while. I mean, we get it. You're the authority. Triple H is the COO. Stephanie's your wife. Seth Rollins is the face of the company. He has the WWE Championship. We get it. I really don't like. I mean, I liked the opening promo this past week with the whole Cena interrupting Rollins and then Rollins, and going at the future Hall of Famer. But I just don't like the opening promos. I think like SmackDown either last week or a couple weeks ago, they opened the show directly without a promo and just got straight to the action. I feel like maybe they need to do that a little more often because, I mean, after a while you're gonna run out of ideas. I think with the promos, all they say is, "Oh, tonight this is the main event. This is where it's at," and it's what's the point, kind of.
Yeah, they could just announce. I mean, they could announce. They could like make a 30-second YouTube video just announcing a match on the show. It's not that hard. They have the technology to do that now. Or they could even have the
Yeah.
commentators just say this match is going to happen tonight.
Exactly. But WWE. Now that you brought up Bray Wyatt, I think WWE. That's one of the very few things they kind of messed up on. And one thing I might say, it may be controversial. It may not be controversial, but I think. I mean, I watch a lot of wrestling, and I've been watching it very heavily, especially Raw. That's my favorite show. But I that's my unpopular opinion because they
Can you repeat yourself because you kind of glitched out? Um,
well, what I said was this might be a controversial opinion. It might not, but I think the WWE needs some new writers
oh yeah,
because you swung and missed with Bray Wyatt, you swung and missed with Antonio Cesaro, even going back a year ago, if you want to go back that far. You swung and missed with CM Punk leaving. Swung and missed with Batista coming back for 3 months and then leaving. You just keep on swinging and missing, and it's just kind of ruining WWE. Not ruining it, but it's not. The potential for WWE is much higher than it is right now.
I mean, they even they're swinning and missing sort of right now with Dean Ambrose because they're just booking him like a loser. He loses all his matches. He never really wins.
I'll be right back.
All right. Well,
right now.
okay. So I just muted his mic for a second just so he can talk. But yeah, they're swinning and missing with Dean Ambrose because he just loses all his matches on TV. It never looks like a threat on TV. How can we take this guy's threat if he loses all his matches on TV? And you know, this whole Sheamus. I mean, they swung and missed with Sheamus in a way because I feel like they missed. Me and James talked about this in a hangout that the Sheamus wanted Money in the Bank ruined his credibility. They could have given it to Roman Reigns or Dolph Ziggler. I don't know how to unmute his mic. Okay.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right. So I had to mute your mic because I didn't want your conversation to be picked up.
No, it's fine.
But I just talked about like the Dean Ambrose situation, how they're swinging and missing with him because he loses all his matches on TV. Like all of them. Like I can't even remember the last time he won a match that meant something.
Yeah, and they just. Well, I remember a couple months ago when Seth Rollins put him through cinder blocks. I kind of thought this would be a setup for him to make this huge comeback, and maybe he'll start winning now. But obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah. And the wrestler that they've missed countless times, whatever you want to call him, Wade Barrett, Bad News Barrett, or Ken Barrett. They're missing the boat with Wade, all the Barrett, just Barrett in general.
Yeah, I think they need to get it together with new writers because right now the potential for the show is 9 out of 10, but it's sitting at about a 6 or a 7.
I mean, I don't know if you watch NXT, but everything that
NXT sometimes I watch NXT. I'm more into Raw and SmackDown, but I'll watch NXT here and there. But I really kind of stopped watching once they brought up Sami Zayn to face Cena in the Open Challenge a couple months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought he was really one of their best wrestlers, and then now that he's up to the WWE, so...
Yes. I mean, he's injured, but...
He's been injured for a while now.
Yeah. Everything that the NXT does, I think, is what Raw should be doing, at least.
Yeah, at least when I was watching it, because NXT they seem to bring up these nice young talent, and they take them in, polish them up, bring them up to the WWE, bada bing, bada boom, and things get done.
Yep. But then when they get up to WWE, it's just a fail. Look at let's say because the Ascent. Remember the Ascension? They were like a dominant tag team on NXT, and then they went up to WWE, and then they got like job. Their like job was pretty much.
Yeah, so
And then
many failures.
Bo Dallas.
Bo Doubt, that's another one. I thought his gimmick was kind of corny, to be honest. The whole Bo Leave thing, but he was a good wrestler, and they dropped the ball on that. And even if you want to go back a while, they had a big, huge tag team with Wade Barrett as the leader. Can't quite remember the name of it. I think it was the Nexus. That's it, Nexus. And they were this huge thing on NXT. And now they bring them up to the WWE. They had their little gimmick. I liked it with the whole killing legends. I mean, sort of like a Norton ripoff from '09 and 10, but I still like these young guys kind of teaching these old guys that, hey, we can run the show now. Then they just drop the ball. Barrett, the whole thing breaks up. Bad News Barrett Wade Barrett, he was known as the time, becomes Bad News Barrett. And then David Otunga, who I liked a lot, where has he been? Justin Gabriel, another one they let go of.
They just David Otunga does the pre-show. He's one of the panelists that does. He's one of the pre-show for RAW now.
I mean, he doesn't even wrestle for them anymore. He was a really, really good wrestler. He had raw power.
Yeah.
They just let go of that. Daniel Bryan probably had one of the most successful careers with the Nexus, but even he's been up and down with all his injuries.
Oh yeah, and everybody looks at this guy as a goof, but they really missed the opportunity with Heath Slater. He may be a goof, but they really didn't. I mean, he's not a bad wrestler, but I just think Heath Slater's also been misutilized.
Yeah, I've never been the biggest fan of Heath Slater, but you're right. They just maybe they need new writers because you're dropping the ball with great superstars on your company, and then the way you're handling your prospects, you're dropping the ball with them as well. I don't know what they need to do. Do they need to create a new belt and bring in the young people and make their own division out of it? Dude, I don't know what they should do, but they need to do something. Maybe they bring back some of the old title belts that they used to have, like the Cruiserweight title. That was good.
Yeah, with European Hardcore Championship, European Championship.
I mean, and also maybe you make some irrelevant titles like the Intercontinental Champion. I noticed the past few weeks they haven't been pressing that as much as the more marquee title belts. Maybe I don't know what they need to do, but they need to do something. Maybe here's my theory with why they're dropping the ball with all these prospects. It's because ECW they disbanded. Because
Yeah,
think about it. You have this whole group, this whole ship of prospects ready to go up, and you can only use them on 2 shows. Mind you, they got rid of the rosters, so now guys fighting on Raw can fight on SmackDown. And so what are you going to do with the young guys? There's no ECW. You can't, there's no rosters anymore, so you can't have them have their own little roster. There's no SmackDown because John Cena and Seth Rollins are taking up the show on Raw, and they're taking up the show on SmackDown. I mean, and do you keep them at NXT and make NXT a bigger brand than it is, or decisions they need to make? They need some new writers, in my opinion. Make something good happen out of that.
yeah, they need new writers. They need new writers. They also need to get Vince out of power, like Vince, because Vince McMahon's so out of touch that he doesn't really know what he's talking about either. So that's a problem. Because you can get all the new writers you want, but everything goes through Vince. Vince has the final say, and if Vince doesn't like it, then too bad.
Yeah, Vince McMahon, he just a vulture capitalist since he started WWE. His father actually started it, not him, but ever since he took over his father's creation, it's just he's been nothing but a vulture capitalist.
Oh yeah, yeah. And he just is out of touch now with maybe reality, not just reality itself.
Maybe because Vince, I don't know what's going on with him. I thought making Triple H the COO would make things better. Triple H has booked some great matches, but like you said, everything goes through Vince, and
Yeah.
I feel like maybe they need a power shift.
Yeah, they need because I talk about this. Me and James talk about this. Me and my friend have talked about this. That I bet a lot of the young guys that are on WWE would have a lot more opportunities with Vince. Without Vince and power, um,
I'd say so as well. I feel like the decision to cut out ECW, that was probably his idea to for some sort of profitable reasons. Here's my thing: if you bring back the rosters, make Raw its own roster, SmackDown its own roster, and bring up ECW, you can kind of play like the baseball system. You know, there's the majors and then there's the minors. NXT can kind of be the minors where you develop all your young prospects, and they can go back to the draft where the Raw, SmackDown, or ECW takes a certain athlete and brings him to the show. You don't even have to do it with the superstars now. You can just do a young player draft like they do in every other major sport. Draft them onto a roster. ECW could be their platform. I mean, there's literally tons and tons of things they can do, but they're just kind of letting the prospects do their best in NXT, then come up and die off.
yeah, that actually sounds like a great idea. Actually, that'd be a better idea. That'd be a better idea. So I'd be all for that. Do you think we should end this off now?
Yeah, that was a good podcast though. Thank you for letting me be
Oh,
on.
no problem.
And my apologies for the technical issues.
Yeah, it's fine. That happens. That happens. It's okay. It happens. But yeah, yeah. Thanks for actually asking to be on because that just shows that we like barely know each other. But since we have wrestling to talk over, we can just talk. I think we've probably been talking for a little, maybe an hour. I don't even know. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And do you have anything you want to plug or anything? Because I usually like to plug stuff at the end.
Final thoughts. Let's see. Well, I mean, since this is a Raw review, my final thought will probably be about Raw. I feel like you're right with the whole Hulk Hogan thing. They needed to come out and make the best show as possible, but they definitely did drop the ball on a few things. For example, the Randy Orton and Kevin Owens match. I mean, if you really wanted to go all in for this one, you could have extended it. I mean, US and WWE, they have a very tight connection. You could have probably extended the program another 30 minutes or so if time management was an issue, but I don't know. It was still a pretty decent show. I liked the main event. Cena breaking his nose.
Yeah, that was good stuff. And I definitely will ask James to see if we can bring you into Massasoit Wrestling Corner. But I think that I bet James would even agree to it too. We always try to bring in new people and all that stuff.
Yeah, thank you, man.
So probably talk to James about it the next time I talk to him. And what?
If we can't do the Massasoit thing, then you usually do a podcast every week or so. I could probably jump in on that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I usually do a Raw review every week, so you can even jump in if you ever want to be on. If you ever want to be on any other of my videos or anything like that, just let me know.
All right.
But other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. You can subscribe to my channel down below to check out all my other videos, and you can also watch my SummerSlam series review because I'm going back and reviewing every SummerSlam that's ever happened, pretty much. Hopefully I can get that done this year. If I can't, then I'll get it done next year. But that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you guys later.